This video is sponsored by THQ Nordic. Check the link in the description to pre-order Darksiders 3 by November 27th and receive all 3 games. But this is the story of Darksiders in 3 minutes. Let's begin. Heaven and Hell are eternally locked in combat. The Charred Council maintains the balance of the angels and demons' constant conflict. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, agents of the council, are comprised of Nephilim, fusions of angels and demons at war against creation. The council creates 7 seals to secure a truce between heaven and hell, ensuring man thrives in peace while the angels and demons try to kill each other. Should the 7 seals break, war will commence between all 3 kingdoms. Hell breaks loose on Earth despite the seals apparently being attacked. Abaddon, general of Heaven's army, is surprised to encounter War, but not as surprised as when he's wrecked by a behemoth hell monster known as Straga. The council saps War's power for arriving to Earth prematurely, so he too falls to Straga. War claims innocence, but is imprisoned for upsetting the balance. Death seeks to free War. The council orders Death to resurrect humanity, so he seeks out the Crowfather, keeper of secrets. The Crowfather tells Death to find the Tree of Life, but he demands Death take back souls of the Nephilim. Death refuses. Crowfather takes the form of War, but Death defeats him. Death falls into a portal and wakes up in the Forge Lands. Elder wakes Death to inform him he must wake up a guardian to reach the tree, but it's not that simple. Death must wake the Forge to make the key, to wake the Colossus to destroy the corruption in the way. And as that wasn't enough, maintaining the Guardian requires 3 Hearthstones. They find one of the stones is corrupted. Death assumes this isn't a big deal. Death destroys the Guardian, but the Elder sacrifices himself to resurrect it to destroy the corruption, thus opening the path to the Tree of Life. Death is sucked into another dimension to meet whatever is behind the corruption. It is the first Nephilim, Absalom, who survived Death's hand through pure hatred. He seeks to revive the Nephilim. In the land of the dead, Death seeks the Well of Souls to resurrect humanity. To do so, Death speaks with the Lord of Bones. Death passes the trials with the Lord of Bones, leads him to the soul who knows the most about the well, the Crowfather. Access to the well requires 2 keys, one held by the angels and the other by demons. Seeking the angel's key in Lost Light, Death meets Archon, who tricks Death into leaving before revealing he holds the key. Death beats him down and claims the key. He proceeds to Shadow's Edge, which is consumed by corruption. Lilith, mother of the Nephilim, sends Death through a time portal to take down Samael and reclaim the key. She asks Death to revive the Nephilim at the Well of Souls. Death reaches the Well of Souls where Absalom waits. Death wipes the floor with the overconfident Absalom. The Crowfather gives Death an ultimatum: resurrect humanity or the Nephilim. Instead, Death takes off his mask and dives into the well. War returns to Earth a century after his crimes to prove his innocence. Per the Council's mandate, the Watcher will kill him if he steps out of line. Volgrim, the merchant of souls on bad terms with Hell's general, the Destroyer, tells War the answers are in Straga's tower. War frees Samael, a powerful demon who agrees to help if War kills the Tower Guardians and feeds Samael their hearts. Charming. War learns the Tower Guardians are not to prevent entry but to stop Samael from regaining power. Oops. Samael sends War to the tower where he finds Azrael, the Angel of Death, imprisoned. Azrael confesses he conspired to start the war early for fear of Hell getting the upper hand. They broke the 6 seals, but kept the 7th intact so the Horsemen would not be summoned. War is innocent, right? Not to the Watcher, who demands he kill the Destroyer to restore balance. War defeats Straga, then heads to the Garden of Eden to find a way to kill the Destroyer. The tree reveals Abaddon was made into the Destroyer after dying and now guards the 7th seal. And the Council allowed Abaddon's plot so they can send War in. Doriel, Abaddon's old lieutenant, challenges War to a duel. She loses, but War doesn't kill her. War exposes Abaddon's true identity and plot, then builds the Armageddon blade to stop the Destroyer's siege of Hell. War beats the Destroyer twice. The 7th seal falls from his hand. The Watcher taunts while Uriel stabs War in the back. She attacks the Watcher, destroying the 7th seal and bringing War back to life to finish off the Watcher. Uriel asks War what he'll do now that everyone will come for him, and the other 3 horsemen fall from the sky. And that's the story of Darksiders in 3 minutes.